Part 2 of the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Indigo Disk, takes place at a new school, Blueberry Academy, located on open water off the coast of the Unova region. It features a large, biodiverse underwater terrarium split up into 4 distinct quadrants: the coastal biome, the canyon biome, savanna, and polar. Each quadrant presents a different type of terrain and Pokemon inhabitants. As an exchange student at Blueberry Academy, it's part of our mission to explore the terrarium, interacting with the various Pokemon types that call it home. It doesn't take long to realize the terrarium is the key selling point of this DLC. This freely explorable area, just like Paldea and Kitakami before it, is a joy to explore. Within minutes of starting the Indigo Disk, I enjoyed being free to roam around all 4 quadrants, seeking out the new and returning Pokemon types each inhabit. There's nothing quite like this feeling, discovering all the new areas of a Pokemon game, and the Indigo Disk absolutely delivers in this department. Every biome has a big surprise or two. For example, the Savanna biome's choice of Pokemon referencing the Kanto Safari Zone, or the new Chargestone Cavern, complete with Galvantula webs and electric charged stones, serving as a fun callback to the Chargestone Cave from mainland Unova. There are more references too. It's clear a lot of love and reverence for the series went into making this, and that was not lost on me, as I had a huge smile on my face discovering it all for the first time. A key differentiator of the Indigo Disk from the other Scarlet and Violet content that came before is that now all trainer encounters are double battles. Not only does this force most players into a battle style they might not be used to, it also leads to some straight up tough fights, especially since many of the trainers pick their Pokemon teams and sets with double battles in mind. Part of our to-do list in the Blueberry Academy is to branch off and fight each of the BB League's Elite Four. I'm still working through the story slowly, but I will say Drayden's trial caught me off guard by forcing the use of Pokemon caught in the terrarium. Even Pokemon I caught within the terrarium's own Terra Crystals were off limits, so it took a bit of investment in the wild Pokemon I caught to get past this encounter. I'm excited to progress the story more, experience more of the trials, and face off against the champion Kieran. Plus, there are rumblings that we'll eventually be returning to Area 0 to find Terrapagos, as the DLC's title suggests. I'm usually not one for multiplayer, but I was glad to see Part 1 of the DLC, the Teal Mask, keep the ability to play together via Union Circle. Part 2 takes it a step further and actually incentivizes the use of a Union Circle with the new Blueberry Quest system. Active players will have set missions, such as picking up a set number of items from the ground, snapping a photo, or catching a certain type of Pokemon. Completing these allows us to earn BP, a currency used to unlock various features within the terrarium. BP allows us to learn new throwing styles, and we can even spend BP to add new Pokemon types to each area of the terrarium. These are just a few examples of the seriously great rewards earned from BP, making it a greatly desired currency, although it can be a bit of a grind to collect solo. On the other hand, playing together in a Union Circle allows players to complete quests together and share the BP rewards they collect. This makes the entire process multiples quicker, and while unexpected, this whole system is pretty brilliant, not just because it cleverly incentivizes co-op multiplayer in a new way, but also because it promotes exploration of the awesome world and Pokemon variety that's been offered here. Still, I can't help but think of the handicap now placed on players who don't have access to online multiplayer. Unfortunately, their BP grind is going to be quite a bit slower. The terrarium is truly a post-game playground, and this is made clear from the jump, since it actually bars players from entering unless they've completed the main game Scarlet and Violet and ran through the entire Part 1 of the DLC, the Teal Mask. High-level Pokemon are aplenty in the terrarium, and the whole environment has been made very convenient for players who already know what they're doing. Fast Pokemon healing kiosks and vending machines that quickly dispense some of the game's most useful items are great additions that experienced players will love. And if you're up for it, shiny Pokemon hunting is as good as ever in the terrarium, with many new opportunities now for isolated encounter hunts. The Indigo Disk could have easily been a simple new map with a few returning Pokemon and new added legendaries to battle and capture, but instead, the whole thing was framed in a way that's far more captivating captivating. We're in an environment that's focused on Pokemon research. This is why our underwater dome features various biomes. And because of this, Pokemon from various regions were brought in for research purposes, which includes many of the regional forms introduced in past generations. I've already seen Alolan Executor, Geodude and Grimer, Galarian Slowpoke, and even come across some new Evos like a Kleavor as wild encounters. It's such a great coming together of Pokemon, and in a way feels like a celebration of the series thus far. And nothing says celebration more like all previous regional starter Pokemon returning as wild encounters in the Terrarium. That's worth the price of admission alone. If this is the final form of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we've been truly spoiled. And I'll be spending a good part of my remaining year and next taking advantage of all it has to offer. I'm very excited to continue exploring this previously unknown area of the Unova region. And speaking of, Indigo Disk doesn't let you forget that is where we are right now. The Terrarium is crawling with Generation 5 Pokemon. Some of the trainers we meet here are direct descendants of important people from Unova, and even the battle theme is a fantastic remix of Gen 5's. Hints toward a potential new Unova game are everywhere, and while I want to fully enjoy where we are right now, I can't help but wonder what it all means. I hope everyone out there enjoys the Indigo Disk, and thank you as always for watching.